All right, we made it to the Orbital Crit Series up in Xenia. It took about an hour to get up here. It's looking pretty nice today. 65, 70 degree weather, and it's sunny, no rain. There's a good amount of people here. I think our race has 30, 34. The juniors are starting before us. They're not with us this time. We are piled up with the women, the 40, 50, 60 masters, and then the 4.5s. So we'll get to it, get dressed, and get ready.
Just leave it. I don't do this. 4-5 race?
Yeah. Alright, game plan today. Nice and simple. Don't try to disrupt the status quo. Keep everything smooth and efficient. The course isn't as smooth as the last crit we did. The last course we did, there's a couple potholes every once in a while, so I'll have to be watching out for those. And the two main features are little turns at the first little spurt of the map, or first spurt of the course, and at the second third of the course, there's a little chicane as well. So just watch for bumps and try to stay in the top half so we don't get pushed out the back for no reason. Welcome back, everyone. I appreciate you all for taking some time to watch my video, and thank you for the recent subscribers. Also, I appreciate everyone saying hi to me and letting me know that you've seen my videos. Anywho, we'll get right into it. This is the Orbital Crit Series held in Xenia, Ohio. It's about an hour north of me, so it's not a horrible commute. The series is hosted by Joel and Katie Holder, who have been doing an amazing job of putting everything together. This is only the second crit course that I've been on, and other than some potholes and dugout corners, it's very well done. I remember the mounting bolt for the GoPro today, so we have both the front Insta360 camera and the rear view for the race. Also, let me know if you guys like the data layout. I think this is the best setup so far, but I am definitely open to feedback. We ended up with a field of 24, and just like every crit race, the pack stays together for the first 2/3 of the race. I don't think any teams showed up today, so other than maybe a couple sets of friends, everyone's on their own. And I said it before, but the two main features are those chicanes at the top left and the bottom right of the course. And you'll see going through the first handful of laps that we line up like 4 or 5 wide on most of the turns. Now, I'm still new to this whole cycling thing, so when we're lining up that tight on turns, I start to get a little bit nervous that either someone's going to run into me or I'll end up being the catalyst to the pile up. I'll go ahead and skip forward to an example of a good turn. Okay, here you can see that I have a fair amount of space, so I can maintain and accelerate at 21, 22 miles per hour. This is a good display of an efficient move through the corner, and again on the other corner, I have the same entrance with nobody around me that allows me to take so much space, as much space as I want when going through. But on the start of the next lap, you can see a very opposite story. I end up on the inside line of the corner instead of the outside, and that leads me to getting cut off to a smooth exit. End up slamming on my brakes, nearly avoiding a wheel, and having to make up for all that lost speed through over 1,000 watts that I had to push to close a pretty decent sized gap that formed just due to an error in the corner. We're a couple laps in at this point, and my legs are still feeling pretty fresh. There haven't been any real attempts to crack the group yet. This turn is the first real chance to stretch the group. You can see everyone is already pretty spread out coming into this turn, but out of the exit, a larger spread begins to form, and I accelerate pretty hard because I'm not trying to take any chances to get left out of the group. You can see in the rear view that some people are beginning to get dropped. The group is like 28 miles per hour right now, and having to fight that speed without any drops simply would not be feasible. This is the only real instance in the race where potholes on the course had any effect on my decisions. It cost me a tiny bit of extra effort while sitting out in the open. I wanted to attempt to make up some ground here and pass, but I knew that there was a divot in the ground that was coming up. It didn't feel like spiking my front wheel into it going 28 miles per hour. So I pull out to the right and it leaves me alone and playing catch up for about 30 seconds. But again, we're not even halfway into the race and no one's really attempting anything yet. So it didn't have too much of an effect on me. Epic montage, the most boring 10 minutes of racing ever known to man.
Out of the shadows, the thunder roars, a quiet whisper, a raging war. The ground is shaking beneath our feet. Hearts are pounding with every beat. Through the ruins where echoes scream, chasing fire in a fractured dream. The sky is tearing, the lightning calls. We rise to face it as the darkness falls. Oh, we run where the brave might break, through the fire with every quake. Blades of courage in the chaos glow. We're the tempest they'll never know.
Getting back to it, we're about 2/3 of the way through the race and things are opening up. I just barely squeezed by this wheel out of the corner and we're all pushing pretty hard. My heart rate's sitting around 180, which is way too high for me right now. On the same lap, everyone gets through the chicane and I'm in dead last of the front group. I believe some people have been dropped off at this point, but I know that I can't be sitting in the back here the whole time because if attacks started to go and I know they're being thrown out right there, I wouldn't even have a chance to stick with the leaders if I stayed back here. So I grabbed some draft and slingshot myself forward just to make up a little bit of space where I can. Then I'm going to do the same thing coming into this next corner. A gap's forming here, so I moved to get ahead of Carson before the corner, so there's no chance that I have to slow down while going through it. Then after the corner, I shoot off of the wheel of someone that was falling back. And at this point, I've been drafting for like the last lap or two. So although my heart rate says otherwise, I'm feeling really fresh. So I communicate with the guy in front of me that I'm going to try to bridge the gap. And the point in doing this was to bring another rider that's in a similar wheelhouse to me up to the front, so that I had a chance that if I fall off again, I might have built up enough rapport to get some good karma for another pullback from him.
Blades of courage in the chaos glow. We're the tempest they'll never know.
And geez, I am just gassed at this point. My heart rate is up. I was pushing 500, 600 watts for a while, but I end up short about 5 meters from the back of the group. They choose to yet again accelerate out of the chicane. I put my last bit of effort in, and by the grace of God, they chose to slow down. And for now, I get to reestablish myself with a peloton.
The rhythm's tight, it's on the prowl, kicking beats like a growling howl. Underneath the moon we collide, feel the thump take us for a ride. Break it down, let the bass line roar, hit the ground like we're craving more. Feel the pulse in the midnight glow, let it burn, let the energy flow. Let it burn, let the energy flow.
4 to 6 people have been dropped off the back here, and I'm struggling to hold on myself at this point. Luckily, this guy in the purple had started falling off the back of the group and gave me a chance to hold on to his wheel and save some energy. During the race, I was thinking to myself, if he flicks me on or tries to get me to pull, I was simply not going to do it, and I was going to sit behind him. My heart rate was in like the high 170s, and we were coming into the final lap of the race. But once we get through this next corner, there's a guy that's coming up behind us, and I yell at him. I'm like, to the right, to the right. But he decides he's done working, which he did a hell of a job, by the way. But I waited a tad too long, so instead of being on the next guy's wheel, I had to make up a little bit of space that he created between us.
Shadows flicker in the neon haze. Heavy steps in the indie craze. Bass drops deep like canyons call. We rise higher than we let it fall. Break it down, let the bass line roar. Hit the ground like we're craving more. Feel the pulse in the midnight.
We're coming through the last turn here, and you can hear Nolan on my right yell at me to go get that guy up front. So I put my head down, and I push it as hard as I can.
Strings collide with fading notes. A stormy sound that softly codes. Electronic dreams and fractured tones. Feel born where silence grows. Bass drops deep like thunder's breath. Heartbeats echo breaking flesh. The world spins slow in colored haze, fading into the lo-fi maze.
I just finished up the race, and wow, was that significantly faster than the King's Crits. So there's no sharp 180s here. There's just two chicanes at the corners of the course, and people were not slowing down for it. Also, something I'm gonna have to work on for the next one, getting through those corners. I would go through the inside of the corner and have to slow down significantly and then pedal to the metal to get out and keep up with the group. I'm gonna have to start from the outside and sort of cruise through to the inside, so it's a smoother exit out of the corner. But it is difficult being out here. But always something to work on. It was super fun. The front finish, I'll have to review the tape to see if I won or if the guy in front of me was. I did one harder pull that sort of set me back, but I felt like sort of needed to get to the group instead of sitting behind in the wind, so I could be more efficient and save a little bit of energy once I got up there. But I got up there and then I got dropped again. So hard course, fast course, learned a lot, ready for next time. I'm gonna work on some corners too before the next one starts. Thank you everyone that stayed until the end. I think I'm gonna try to add in these cinematic pieces of the races in more. I think they look pretty. But if you want to see more content similar to this, or you have a suggestion for me, hit the like and subscribe button, or leave a comment. They're much appreciated. I'll see you all for the next one.
Yeah, thanks for the pull back. I knew we had at least a little bit of space where we could take it. And you were sitting for a while before me. You were already grabbing the wind before me.
Get it at the end.
I don't know. I think we were neck and neck. That was fast.
Yeah,
Yeah. All right, good job.